Number 11. A local charity sells books to help fund a children's park. All the books are on sale for $1.50 each, and in the first hour, they sell 34 and 5/10 books. The goal for the event is to raise a minimum of $300. Using the inequality, 34 and 5/10 plus 1 and 5/10 B is greater than or equal to 300, which represents a number of books the charity needs to sell to meet their goal. So let's write the inequality. We have 34 and 5/10 plus 1 and 5/10 B is going to be greater than or equal to 300. So in order for us to know which number represents the number of books the charity needs to sell to meet their goal, we are going to need to solve this inequality. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our constant. We have a positive 34 and 5/10. So we are going to need to subtract 34 and 5/10 from both sides. Let's be careful over here. We're going to need to make sure that we line up our decimal. Going to need to add my decimal point into 0. 34 and 5/10 minus 34 and 5/10 gives me 0. I'm left with 1 and 5/10 B on the left. My inequality symbol is greater than or equal to, and I'm going to need to subtract. In order to subtract, I'm going to need to borrow. I'm going to have to go all the way to the left to borrow, so my 3 is going to become a 2, and this 0 will become a 10. Then I need to borrow from this 10 to make it a 9, and this 0 will become a 10. Then I need to borrow from this 10 and make it a 9, and this 0 will become a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. Bring your decimal straight down. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. And bring your 2 down. So we have 265 and 5/10. Our second step is we need to divide to isolate the variable. We see a multiplication of 1 and 5/10, so we're going to need to divide both sides by 1 and 5/10. 1 and 5/10 divided by 1 and 5/10 equals 1, leaves me with B. My variable is isolated. My inequality symbol stays the same direction because I divided by a positive. I'm going to need to show my work for my division. 265 and 5/10 divided by 1 and 5/10. My divisor must be a whole number, so I'm going to need to move my decimal one place to the right, so I'm multiplying by 10. I must do the same thing to my dividend. Move my decimal one place to the right, I'm dividing by 10. Take your decimal, put it straight up into your answer. Now let's divide. 15 goes into 26 one time. We multiply. 1 times 15 is 15. And we subtract, and we get 11. And then we bring down the 5. 15 goes into 115 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 gives me a 10. So 15 times 7 is 105. And I subtract, and I get 10. Bring down the next number, which is a 5. And 15 goes into 105 7 times. 7 times 15 is 105. We subtract and get a remainder of 0. So 177 is the number of books the charity needs to sell to meet their goal.